One of the things that Canadian employers wanting to hire a foreign national must do when they're submitting their application to the Canadian immigration authorities is to place job advertisements locally. These advertisements have to be placed for a stipulated period of time. They have to conform to certain set guidelines. And only after doing so can the employer apply for authorization to hire a foreign national. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer at GOOSELAW Immigration, where we help businesses with their employees' work permit applications and save them from the legal hassle. In this video, we want to talk about the advertising and recruitment requirement that employers must meet if they're wanting to apply for authorization in the form of a labor market impact assessment, an LMIA, and subsequently applying for a work permit on behalf of a prospective international employee. Now, generally speaking, Canada has a requirement that in order for a Canadian employer to hire a foreign national, that employer must first make the opportunities available to Canadians, and only after unsuccessfully doing so can the employer then offer that position to a foreign national. So typically, the way the employer seeks authorization is through what's called a labor market impact assessment, an LMIA. And part of the LMIA process requires the employer to place job advertisements, okay? And these job advertisements have to be placed for a minimum amount of time. They have to be placed for at least 4 weeks. They have to be placed on at least 3 different job sites, one of which must be Canada's job bank, okay? So the ads have to be placed on Canada's job bank along with 2 other sources. And typically these are going to be posted onto online job banks, job sites rather. So the employer has to do that. And the employer has to ensure that the ads that are placed on these job sites contain certain specified information. You know, the ads must contain a description of the duties to be performed. The ad must contain the salary to be paid, the physical work location, you know, the language of work, which typically must either be English or French. You know, the terms of the hire, you know, whether it's a full-time role, you know, how many work hours the employee is going to be expected to work inside Canada, and all of those things. All of that information must be included on the job advertisement, and the job advertisement must run for at least 4 weeks. And one of those job advertisements must continue to run even after the employer has gone ahead and submitted the LMIA application. So bear in mind that the job advertisements have to be placed and must run for 4 weeks before the employer can actually submit the LMIA application, right? So that happens first, and then after running the job ads and after attempting to recruit a Canadian to fill the position, because running the job ads in and of itself does not satisfy the requirement. The employer must, the whole purpose of running the job ad is to try to find a suitably qualified Canadian to fill the role. So after running the job ads and after going through the recruitment process and doing so unsuccessfully, only then can the employer submit their application for a labor market impact assessment, which is an application to get the government's go-ahead, the government's blessing to actually offer their job to the foreign worker. And if that LMIA is approved, the government issues a positive LMIA, and then the foreign worker will have to go through the next stage, which is the actual work permit application. All right, so that's just a general overview of the advertising and recruitment requirement that is part of the LMIA process that employers must go through in order to hire a foreign national in certain situations. Now, it's important to note that the advertising requirement, while it is the general requirement and the general rule, there are exceptions. There are some types of LMIA applications that do not require or that no longer require the employer to advertise, right? So there's, for instance, the global skills strategy. So an LMIA under the global talent stream would not require the employer to post job advertisements, though the employer must still satisfy the immigration authorities that there is in fact a scarcity of talent among Canadians as part of that requirement. All right, so I trust you found value from this video. As always, remember to like our video so others will see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks, see you again.